at that point, I got so angry because I knew that the 500 cordones were going directly to his pocket, because he said, you either pay me the 500 or you pay 3,500, we're going to take the bike, yada, yada, yada.
Necesito embargo.
Tienes que empezar por ahí, chico.
Yo tiene para
Impuestos, chico, ahí.
¿Hotel aquí?
Sí.
¿Sí? ¿Es bueno o no?
No.
¿Es no bueno? No. ¿Dónde es bueno hotel?
En Moyogalpa. Está la salida de Moyogalpa como a unos, siempre recto, como a unos 3 kilómetros.
3 kilómetros.
Sí, pasando el pueblo, hay un hotel que se llama Estancia.
¿Estancia?
Sí, es bueno.
Ok.
Hay piscina, todo muy bonito, con aire acondicionado, todo.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Ok. Gracias, amigo, gracias.
3, 4 kilómetros más.
3, 4. ¿Cómo se llama hotel?
Estancia.
Estancia, estancia. ¿Dónde es?
Estamos en Moyogalpa, Hostali, Moyogalpa.
Gracias, amigo.
Bueno.
Well, good morning. Last night I stayed on the mainland of Nicaragua, and this morning I've decided to come to the islands in the middle of the lake because there's 2 volcanoes here. I'm probably not going to go up one of the volcanoes. There's another volcano in Nicaragua that I really want to see, but I did want to come here to see what was on the island. Everybody recommended it and said that if you come to Nicaragua, you have to come to this island. So I found a great hotel here, and I'm just gonna grab some breakfast and see what's on the island.
Today we are not going to climb the volcano. I looked at climbing the volcano. It's a 10-hour trip, and they told me today that you would not be able to see the caldera because of the sulfur cloud on top today. They said there's very few days when you can go up there and actually see inside the volcano, so instead I'm going to go to something that everybody has been recommending me to go to. And that is called Ojo de Agua, or the Eye of the Water. I'm not sure what it is, but it's about 40 minutes away on the island, so we're going to hop around to the other side of the island and go see whatever Ojo de Agua is. And I brought my rain gear just in case it rains, because it's not looking very pretty in the sky, so I'm hoping I don't run into rain, but I expect to. Shouldn't be too bad though. Rained yesterday. It's actually been raining pretty much every day, but it only rains for about 1 to 2 hours and then it clears up again. So I'm hoping I can beat the rain to it. And it should be a nice short drive. This is a very, very pretty island. Right here through the town, it's not as great, but once you get out of town, I drove a little bit finding the hotel yesterday. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful here. And by the way, if you're wondering where I'm staying, especially to you, Josh, who always geo-tracks me, this is the hotel I'm staying at, La Estancia. It's a nice little place right there. If you look to our left between the trees, you may be able to see the larger of the two volcanoes here. That volcano has the name that starts with C. And there's a smaller volcano just to our south that you can't see, and the name of it starts with an M. I can't remember either name, so I'll just leave them down here. But the name of the island is Ometepe. There's the volcano. And Ometepe, depending on how you translate it, is either Hill of Peace or Peaceful Hill or Mountain of Peace, Peaceful Mountain, something like that, which is kind of an odd name for an island with two active volcanoes on it. But I think the reason it has its name is because of the two towns on the mainland here. That mainland town, there's two of them. One is St. George, which is right at the lakefront. The other one further inland is called something like Rex or Rekas. And that town is really how Nicaragua got its name, or how it kind of got on the map. There was a very smart Indian chief named Nicaragus who was in that town, and it's at that town that Nicaragus made a peace treaty with the Spanish conquistadors that came in. Basically, there had been wars between the Aztecs and the Spanish in this area, and Nicaragus is the one who made that whole peace treaty. This is the very northern area, or the very northern end of the Aztec Empire. And right here is that beautiful mountain. You can see it here, that volcano. All right, not to get sidetracked, it's just so ominous. Anyway, Nicaragus made the peace treaty with the Spanish. They then went on another 20 kilometers and got annihilated by a totally different tribe, and they were wiped out. Obviously, more conquistadors came in later in the future, and we all know that's history. The town that's just closer to the lake, called St. George, is named after a English saint, obviously Catholic, and it must have been sometime during the time when England actually had a papal relationship with the church. I know they went back and forth between Protestant and Catholicism for a while, and once the Church of England was established, I think that was the end of it. So obviously it happened when England was still Catholic. Anyway, St. George, there's also many statues of St. George there, but really the famous portion of this whole area is the treaty site where Nicaragus made a treaty with the Spanish, and that's how this lake got its name, which is Lake Nicaragua. And there's the other volcano. And that's also how the country got its name, after that famous Aztecian chief. I almost missed my turn. There was a tiny, tiny blue sign that said Ojo de Agua. So I guess this is it, down here somewhere. Or if this guy stands here all day and just is here. Moto? Okay.
The water actually comes up from the ground from the volcano. It's not really warm. I mean, it's not really hot. It's a little warm, but it's very refreshing and very, very clear. They don't add any chemicals to the water, and you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but the water is incredibly clear here. But I'm in jeans, so I won't be enjoying the pool today, but I heard that there's some hiking trails around here, so let me go see if I can't find something else to discover while I'm here. Well, the pool was nice, but there was really no hiking trails here. So some other people have given me advice on where else to go. So I think I'm going to head up the road and show you something else on this island.
Gracias. Right now we are exactly between the two volcanoes, the one on the left and then the one on the right, and I cannot find what I'm looking for, and I know it's not in this area, so I think I'm going to turn around because this road is just going to take me around that volcano there. So I'm going to turn around and head back the way I came, see if I can't find it on the way back. My hotel is on the opposite side of that volcano right there. So I've kind of come around one half of the island already. Boy, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just gorgeous? Wow. Such a peaceful island. Ah, maybe that's why its name is Mountain of Peace or Hill of Peace. Because it's so peaceful on this island. Alright, I think I figured it out. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. Because this is obviously a very, very peaceful island. So, what a good name, Ometepe. Now I understand the name. And it truly lives up to its name. This is just an extremely tranquil place. I can see why some people decide to live here instead of on the mainland. It has pretty much everything you need, a grocery store. I even saw a motorcycle shop. If you're not worried about living in between two active volcanoes, well, maybe this is the place for you too. But from what I understand, it's been a long, long time since these volcanoes have had any activity outside of, you know, just the sulfur gas that's coming up out of it. But you never know. With volcanoes, you never know. Ask the people of Pompeii. Alright, I could not find what I was looking for, and it has started to rain. And it's barely started now. It's heading this way, the same direction I'm going, so I'm going to try to beat the rain back to the hotel if I can. Because once it starts raining, it will be a downpour for like an hour, so I really don't want to get caught in the rain. Although I did bring rain gear, I still don't want to be caught in the rain. And once this storm comes through and hits that mountain in front of us, that volcano, it'll really, really start to accumulate there, and then it's going to dump on the other side. So it'd be nice to be in the hotel before that really happens. And I'm only about 30 minutes away, so maybe I could make it. That, by the way, is what we're trying to avoid.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may.
In the middle of the island, there is an airport, and the road runs through the runway. Not really an airport, I guess it is. There's a tower of some sort. Well, we beat the rain somehow. I'm not sure how, but we beat the rain. Barely, because it's going to come in and it's going to start storming here.
But I'm glad I got here dry. Alright, well, I'm going to do some videos now while I sit out the rain. Well, the idea was to go explore the island, but unfortunately it started raining, so I'm going to have to hold on to that for a little bit, at least until the rain stops. I may even have to stay here another night, but this place is a great place to stay for the night, that's for sure. I did some research while I was here, and it turns out that Nicaragua is actually the safest country in all of Central America, which surprised me. It's safer than Costa Rica, and what's even more surprising, it's safer than El Salvador. Growing up, you never thought of Nicaragua as a safe country, but now that I'm here, I can totally see it. Very tranquil, very peaceful, and the people here are genuinely kind. There's something in their heart that you just feel it here. Excellent, excellent people here. Nature is beautiful. Highly recommend Nicaragua to anybody who wants to travel in South America, or I'm sorry, Central America. In fact, I would recommend this over Panama or Costa Rica. Not only is it a lot more economical to come here, but it's beautiful just like those two countries, and the people here are amazing. Not only that, but you don't have to worry about crime because it's such a safe country. It's an amazing country. Downfalls, they don't allow paramotors and they don't allow drones. However, I did find out you can build a drone here if you wanted to build a drone. So that's kind of interesting. Good morning. So today's plan is to leave the island. It's a little cloudy today, so much so that you can't even see the volcano right behind me. But I'm excited to get back to the mainland and head up north. By the way, there are some things I can change about the channel, and I've been thinking about changing about the channel. But I need your opinion, so if you don't mind, leave me a comment. Let me know a couple things. Let me know why you watch the channel and why you watch the videos. Secondly is I want to know really where you would like to see next. You know I'm heading up north. I'm in Nicaragua, heading up through Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, and then into the US. If there is some place within those countries that you would like to see, or especially that you would like me to fly over, let me know what that is. Leave me a comment. If not, leave me a comment anyway and let me know why you watch the channel. Is it for the adventure? Is it for the flying? What's it for? Because I've been thinking about making some changes a little bit, but I don't know if I should. I don't know if there'll be good changes. So I kind of need your opinion. So stop what you're doing. Just leave me a quick comment. I'll write you back, I promise. But for now, I need to get on the bike and get on the road. By the way, without the paramotor, the bike is a lot easier to drive, of course, but for some weird, odd reason, I miss the paramotor. I miss having to balance the thing. Is that bizarre or what? I'm not sure why. I must be crazy in the head or something.
All right, we are off to the boat, and while we're on the way to the boat, I'm going to tell you what happened last night, because what happened last night was somewhat disappointing. Last night, I was driving down this road, probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, no helmet. Because, as you can tell, most of the drivers here don't wear helmets with motorcycles. Now, I know it's the law, but obviously it must be somewhat lax here because only half the motorcyclists, like this guy in front of me, do not wear helmets. So I wasn't wearing a helmet. I'm just going 2 minutes up the road to grab some snacks or whatever. And there was a police stop. And I knew exactly what they were looking for, and I knew exactly what they were doing. Let me tell you. So I stopped right in front of the police stop, got off the motorcycle, made sure they knew I spoke English, and walked into the bar. I had to walk into a bar because the stores were closed and the bar sells Coke. So I grabbed a Coke. I wasn't actually grabbing a beer or anything. So I wasn't doing anything questionable. So I grabbed 2 Coca-Colas from the bar, got back on the bike, and by that time they had moved the police stop this direction towards the hotel. And I came right by them, and of course they stopped me. And immediately he asked to see my driver's license. So I gave it to him, and he asked why I have a Colombian plate, and I told him yada yada yada. And then he says, well, it's lawful for you to wear a helmet here. In fact, it's the law. You have to wear a helmet here. So you can either pay me 500, whatever the currency is here, colones or something. It's not colones, cordons or whatever. 500 cordons, or we can arrest you, confiscate the bike, and then you pay 3,500 cordons. And at that point, I got so angry because I knew that the 500 cordons were going directly to his pocket, because he said, you either pay me the 500 or you pay 3,500, we're going to take the bike, yada, yada, yada. And so I called his bluff, and I told him, look, tomorrow I have a meeting with the Ministry of Tourism, who invited me to this country. Totally a lie, yes, I know, but he doesn't know that. And she had told me that if I come across any policemen that ask me for money, I need to get their name. So I need your name right now. And immediately he backed off and handed me back my license. And I would not back off on him, though. I said, no, I need your name. I started getting very loud, very boisterous. And I let him know how angry I was. He was with another police officer and 2 military personnel. And so what I did is I went up to the military personnel, I called them over, and they were very young. A girl maybe, early 20s. And I told her, I missed my turn. I told her, you allow this corruption, because the transit police are not actually police, they're just transit police. But she's military, and the police here are militarized. You're allowing this I got into her face. I was livid. And they were afraid. They were afraid because they didn't know that I was just bullshitting them. But that kind of thing, I cannot stand. I hate corruption. I hate it. Obviously, I can't go down the road I need to go down. So anyway, obviously he hands my stuff back to me. He apologized. He won't give me his name. The 2 military kids, I'm going to call them kids because they were so young holding machine guns, but yeah, they don't know how to use the thing. Anyway, it was just, I had such a good feeling about Nicaragua, and then I run across a corrupt police officer. So disappointing, so disappointing. Let me see if I can go down this. Donde embargo? This way? Okay. See, look at this guy. He's military police. Gracias. But he's older. He's probably in his 30s there. Last night, those 2, they were definitely not in their 30s. Anyway, I'm not going to let that one small incident kill how I feel about Nicaragua. Still feel awesome about Nicaragua. Just one bad apple there. Okay, we're now at the boat. And so now I got to figure out which boat and how to buy a ticket, yada yada yada. Should be able to figure this out somewhere.
¿Sí o no? Okay.